Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group. I'm your host, as always, Ryan, and today we are going to do another top 5 rankings video. So today we're going to be looking at the top 5 best matches in the New Day's career. So the New Day have become one of the most successful factions in WWE history. Forming it in 2014, the trio of Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods and Big E have held the SmackDown Tag Team titles 7 times, the Raw Tag Team titles 4 times, and the NXT Tag Team titles once. Big E and Kofi have also each held the WWE title, and Xavier has won the King of the Ring in 2021, all whilst under the New Day banner. So today we're going to be looking back at the last decade that they have been together as a team and select our top 5 matches. These will all be tag matches and no singles matches will be included. And as always, feel free to let us know your top 5 in the comments section below. So as always, we'll start at number 5 and then run down to number 1, being obviously dubbed the greatest match in New Day's history. So in at number 5 is the New Day versus the Shield Survivor Series 2017. So this is the only match we have in our top 5 where it's all 3 members are involved. So it's trios action. So we have Big E, Kofi and Xavier versus Reigns, Rollins and Ambrose. So the 2 biggest factions in WWE at the time finally got a chance to face off against each other properly. When the Shield split up, the New Day pretty much took the ball and ran with it, becoming the hottest trio in the company. Now that the Shield were back together, it was a chance to see which trio was more dominant. Was it SmackDown's New Day or Raw's Shield? This was the opening match on the pay-per-view, so they had to set the pace for the event, and both teams were successful in doing so. Both teams were babyfaces at the time, so the crowd would cheer for everyone involved at different stages throughout. In the finish to this match, all 6 guys got to their feet on opposite sides, and it became a slugfest. Rollins hit Woods with his knee to the face on the outside of the floor. Ambrose hit Dirty Deeds on Big E on the other side of the ring floor, and Kingston missed an attack on Reigns, so Reigns hit him with a spear. All 3 Shield guys were in the ring as Reigns sat on the turnbuckle. Rollins and Ambrose hoisted Kingston up and Reigns delivered the triple powerbomb off the ropes. Ambrose then covered Kingston for the pinfall and put Raw 1-0 up in the Survivor Series results card. So this was obviously back when it was all about Raw versus SmackDown. So then winning, the Shield winning the first match obviously put them 1-0 up on the night. Number 4, Big E and Kofi Kingston of the New Day versus AJ Styles and Chris Jericho of Y2AJ. Not long after AJ Styles joined WWE, he started the team with Chris Jericho. The team quickly became popular as Y2AJ, and before long found themselves with a tag title opportunity after defeating the champions in a non-title match the week before. A lot of fans were actually quite sceptical of AJ and Chris Jericho being a team together, but Chris Jericho decided to tell fans that they were all in on the team, and even created the Y2AJ shirts, which they wore for the very first time in the entrance build up to this match. Obviously the champions at the time were the New Day, and on an episode of Raw, these 2 teams clashed for the gold in an entertaining match that was easily one of the best matches on Raw for the whole year. At this point, the New Day were a well-oiled machine, obviously being a team for a long time, and they outperformed the new team, who were a lot less familiar with each other. This match was the first time that New Day used the Unicorn Stampede in the corner, with Woods playing his trombone on the outside to entertain the fans as they did so. The fans responded loudly to a near fall after a springboard 450 from AJ Styles. Kofi Kingston then landed a nasty spin kick on Styles before going for the Trouble in Paradise on Jericho, but it was reversed into the walls of Jericho. Thanks to Woods, Kingston was able to tag in Big E, who went on a run to pin Jericho after the big ending. After the match, obviously, Chris Jericho turned on AJ Styles, which set up their match at WrestleMania. So that is the moment that a lot of fans do remember this match more for, is obviously the turn and the build-up to AJ Styles' first WrestleMania match. But the match itself, the tag team match, is definitely right up there as one of the best of the New Day's run as a team. So in at number 3, Big E and Xavier Woods run the gauntlet for Kofi on SmackDown. As part of the run-up to Kofi Mania, Kofi's WWE title shot against Daniel Bryan was put on the line in a tag team gauntlet match, which would see his New Day brothers compete against multiple teams, one after another, to secure his title opportunity on the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania. First up was the Good Brothers, who Big E and Woods put away in very quick fashion. Up next, the team of Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura. They didn't go down as easy as the Good Brothers and managed to do some damage to the New Day before taking a midnight hour and also being pinned. The Bar were up next, and they had a good history against the New Day, and their aggressive physical style brought some issues for Woods and Big E, who had clearly started to tire at this point. But they would not be beaten on this night, and Woods managed to roll up Sheamus for their third win in a row. Up next, New Day's biggest rivals, the Usos. The Usos created one of the moments of the night when they entered the ring but chose to forfeit as a sign of respect to Kofi and the New Day. The final team of WWE Champion Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan came out next and dominated the match, putting a beating on the Jaded pair. The fans were on their feet and counting in unison as Rowan was counted out of the match whilst buried under the announce table. Big E and Xavier Woods had done it, and Kofi Kingston was on his way to WrestleMania. Number 2, Big E and Kofi Kingston of the New Day versus the Revival, now known as FTR in AEW, in a ladder match at TLC 2019. So when the Revival originally moved up from NXT to the main roster in 2017, they attacked the New Day, which would have set up their first feud, but due to an injury, this program was cut short. It would be nearly 2 years later before they would meet again properly in the ring. Going into this match, the New Day were the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, so their belts were on the line. Kofi's athletic ability was on full display in this match, as you would expect with the ladders being involved. He brought the crowd to life when he balanced on the top rope and bounced back onto Scott Dawson after nearly falling from the ladder, but he couldn't counter a devastating shatter machine moments later. To end this one, Big E hit Dash with a big ending off the ladder before Kofi jumped onto the ladder, knocking off Dawson before pulling down the tag team titles to retain. So here we have it. This is number 1, and what we have decided is the greatest match in New Day's history. It's Big E and Xavier Woods of the New Day versus the Usos in a Hell in a Cell match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The New Day and the Usos have had a great rivalry in WWE, I could have just done a top 5 based on these two teams and their matches that they've had against each other over the years. Their matches at Day 1 and the SummerSlam kickoff show both just missed out here by a margin. The Hell in a Cell match is definitely their best against one another. Both teams going straight for weapons from the get-go rather than usual traditional wrestling match first. There was a moment in the match that saw Woods tied up in the corner and Jimmy and Jay would take turns hitting him with kendo sticks while he screamed out in pain. That part stays in my head afterwards every time I watch this match. The fans chanted "This is awesome" as Big E smashed Jimmy into the steel cell, and the finish to this one saw Xavier Woods handcuffed but still trying his all and his hardest to fight back, but more shots from the kendo sticks, super kicks and the double oos were enough to put him away, and the Usos were victors. So there you have it. That is our top 5 matches in the history of the New Day. One of the greatest factions in WWE history. One of the most popular factions in WWE history as well. So let us know, as I said before, in the comment section below, what are your top 5 matches from the last decade, as they've been together a decade now, from 2014 to 2024. Let us know in the comments what your top 5 are. They could well be the same as mine, but in a different order, or there could be some completely different matches that you feel should be in there instead. Let us know, as always, in the comments. And as always, don't forget to be sure to stay tuned for more wrestling-related content coming your way from the wrestling group very soon. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe to the wrestling group today.